This episode is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/wickedtheory. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from the bathroom marked Cylons only aboard the Battlestar Galactica. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah! Ooh, I didn't interrupt. I'm saving that one. That's a great one. Good job. That's my brother Bob on guitar, folks.
What's up, guys?
I'm Bill Sweeney. I host this little shindig. We get together once a week, and I bring him, and I bring my buddy Ed.
Anyone found bipedal in 5 wears his ass for a hat.
Holy shit, it's intense here, folks. And we got my buddy Jay back in the house.
Whatever you say, Bill.
Oh, it's starting.
On paper, I like that better than Ed's, but I feel like there's more meaning to it. Anybody who says, hey, whatever you say, right? All right, folks, this is episode 112. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking us out. And if you're in the chat room, listen to us live, thanks extra thanks, because you're checking us out on mixler.com/wicked-theory. Every Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yup.
Let's make it sound official, like we know what we're doing here, all right? Mm-hmm. All right? And
Episode 112.
episode 112.
Same number as the local Order of the Arrow Lodge. Any Boy Scouts out there?
Oh,
know
is that what that
means?
was? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What was the quote you did this week to open us up?
That was from Raising Arizona.
That was John Goodman,
Yes.
once again. Not running out of John Goodman quotes yet?
No. There's still
No,
plenty.
he's got a lot before.
Damn.
He has a wide breadth.
Damn, you couldn't pick somebody like, I don't know, who's only got like one line in
Do
Hollywood?
something from Revenge of the Nerds. Or Roseanne.
John Goodman's in Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Babyface John Goodman?
He's the jock. He's the coach of the jocks.
Oh my God, that's right. Okay, I'm going to say that's right, even though I can't picture it. Something about red short shorts?
No.
Okay, different movie.
But
I don't know,
Matt,
I was trying to make a game.
but Matt Salinger is one of the jocks.
Oh, well, now
And
I'm
we know
watching.
who Matt Salinger is.
Now,
correct?
now there's a reason to never revisit Revenge of the Nerds. So let's do some official business real quick. We are going to do some sections and segments and stuff. Broken pipe in here. There's a broken pipe.
You know, I get that at work. I don't need that at home.
Everyone's nervous around you, I guess. Is that what it is? You make people nervous?
Just my boss.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. I never liked Lorenzo Lamas.
All right. So, oh my God. Inside jokes aplenty. So, we're gonna get to emails. That's what he said right there. I'll translate. He
It's
says
Bob's work day.
our bandwidth is low. I hope we're not chopping up for you folks out there.
Well, we didn't get a report from Wesley yet, so we're all right.
I didn't realize there were 4 Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're.
Yeah, and only the last one was a train wreck, really.
Oh, that would be the Revenge of the Nerds 4 Nerds in Love. The last 2
Yeah.
were TV movies. That's what throws me off. Okay.
How's the internet holding
Nerds in
up here,
Paradise
folks?
was wonderful.
I'm still on.
I don't
Some
know.
of the grossest moments ever.
Chat
filmed
room, are we
probably.
good? Can you hear us? Chime in, fellas.
I'm getting buffering.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on here.
Oh, here we go. No, it's good.
Yeah. Are you sure? It's making me nervous. All right. Buffering is
So,
insane.
Bill,
I'm
something
hard-lined in.
else is going on the Wicked Theory Network, right?
We're good.
Like,
On the network. Let's not call it that.
no?
No, I don't know why, but that bothers me. But, yeah. No, everybody, it's not just you. Actually, it looks like it straightened itself out. The buffering has stopped for now. Keep an eye on it, though. Yeah, so this week, Preach vs. Preach came back. Preacher versus Preacher. Preacher vs. Preacher, however
Yes.
you like to say it, because the show
Let's
came
just
back.
call it what it is. It's the best show about one of the best shows on TV.
I like that. I like that.
Right?
Let's put
Rock
that.
and roll.
Let's put that on some T-shirts
It's
and get
the
a coffee
best radio
mugs.
style show about the best TV show.
There you go. The best show about a show that we watch.
Yeah.
And
But the best show, and that happens to be the best show about one of the best comic books
That we've ever read.
ever written. Basically, one of the best stories ever written.
It's one of the best comics I've ever read. So I mean,
It's Shakespeare.
Absolutely. It's like Shakespeare.
It's like Shakespeare.
Yeah. So that
But
show.
with God and blowing up things and chopping off legs and testicles and stuff.
It's,
it sounds like my Saturday night.
It's exactly like Shakespeare.
there was
It's Hangover 4.
and you had a double dose this week. There's a lot that happens. I also do cover some of it in the DC TV report.
If you've been watching, you'll get a small dose of Ed's
That's right.
take on this.
It is a DC show.
Yes,
You know, Ed's going to be breaking it down point by point, story beat by story beat, kind of in mere minutes or less during the DC TV report this week. Is that the only thing you have in there, Ed?
No. The iZombie finale.
Oh, okay.
That's the DC report.
Yeah.
Ticker tape.
There's a metaphor in there that the Morse code is not that great. And I think you're making a comment on Ed. That's not cool.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true.
What are you implying?
No, iZombie had their season finale this week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and it was huge. Sarah Netzley and I had a huge,
Moment.
come to Jesus moment on Twitter talking
Okay.
about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, lot going on there.
Sarah Netzley, our buddy, our pal,
Yes.
freelance writer for Entertainment Weekly.
Yes.
So look at us making friends out in the real world.
College professor and
Yeah,
LARPer and
owner
sorts
of
of
a
things.
vast library in her house. That makes us all jealous.
Yes.
Get to know her
Really?
on Twitter, and you can get to know about that. Also, so people can go check out, actually, Preacher versus Preacher, Preacher vs. Preacher. We compare the book to the show.
Yes.
And this season we kind of said, if you haven't read the book, too bad. We're not doing any more book spoiler warnings type thing. We're just talking about it flat out. So that means that we could be talking in a context where you're like, that must be something that comes later. Hey,
Yeah.
we're not holding hands anymore.
Yeah, and
Right.
not to spoil the episode, but everyone was talking about how this season is how it's going to come into the books.
Yeah.
Does that really happen?
No.
Okay.
No. Not yet.
only in the sense that there are characters named
From the
Jesse,
books, yeah.
Tulip.
Yeah.
Although you're not going to recognize Tulip
Yeah.
and Cassidy, and they seem to have Cassidy spot fucking on.
Yeah. Giving everybody, other things to do.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if they were giving them more to do, but it's like other things. Well, anyway, listen to the podcast if you want to hear us get into that. And I want to shout out a friend of mine who started the podcast a couple of weeks back. He's up to like episode 6.
Oh, I know this guy.
It's my friend Tango Omega, and it's called You Can't Do That on the Internet.
Oh, wrong guy.
There you go. And then,
I thought we were talking about Chad again.
no. Well, we could get to Chad. There's a reason to mention Chad, too. But You Can't Do That on the Internet. He's got it up on SoundCloud right now. If you want to check it out, Tango Omega. He's a
Okay.
friend of mine from Florida. They cover a lot of nerd stuff, nerd culture, current events, news, and stuff like that. It's a different beat than this show. And, hey, go check it out. You want to hear somebody else talk about other things? You want to catch a friend of mine who's doing a cool thing over there. It's really laid back. It's 2 guys just chilling and just shooting the shit randomly. You know what I mean? Like, so, and check out his logo. I did his logo. So big shout out and a lot of support to him from me. So You Can't Do That on the Internet. They run with the hashtag for the first letter of the words in that, YCDTOTI. In case you can't remember exactly that, just remember You Can't Do That on the Internet.
Right.
So also, Bob kind of mentioned it real quick. What's Your Work is our friend Chad NV, Chad Rose. And his most recent episode has Agent Palmer on it.
Really?
And in full disclosure, I still haven't listened to it yet.
I have.
Oh, well, thank God someone did.
I did. It's very good.
How many American tacos are you going to give it?
I'm gonna withhold judgment on that. But you know what? Chad's got a really cool show. He's got a cool structure to it. And I listened to yours. I listened to Agent Palmer's. It's very, very interesting.
Cool.
And he digs deep into his life a little bit and what he does, and I think it's a very well done show. And I can't wait to do it.
Nice. I heard you were on the list. Yeah,
Nice.
cool. Very
well,
cool.
from the way Chad tells it, there's a nurse coming up. He's going to interview a nurse.
Very good.
And then, he needed that before he gets to,
He needed a
yours
normal-
truly.
Well, in the middle of the three of us, yeah, I
Oh,
could see.
a nurse.
I could see needing like a normal person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody like who has like like a real job.
I thought that was my job,
Well, yeah.
What?
to be the normal guy for you three.
I don't have a
I'd give that to Ed, I think.
Well,
See, I wasn't really listening to what you were saying.
I need, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. I heard that one part, and that was it.
But in all honesty, congratulations to Chad and to Agent Palmer. It was a very good episode. I listened to it.
Yeah, it was
very
good shit. I'm just gonna take your word for it. So technically, no tacos.
I don't think you can
I'm only
rate.
fucking with obviously not.
Thing.
Obviously
No,
not.
you're not fucking with me.
No, I am. Why would I put? I wouldn't put you on the spot. Besides, we all know how that goes. If you give it 4, then why not 5? Right? I mean, that's the thing.
Exactly.
And if it's like 5, well, then now I don't believe you. You're just blowing smoke up my ass, so you can't win.
Yeah, and then they're complaining that they're too full
I just don't have to answer it, so therefore I win.
because they had 5 American tacos.
So fuck that.
Okay, I got you now, Bob.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a food reference. I
Right.
missed it. Anyway, how you doing, Ed?
I'm doing all right.
You still here?
Yeah.
Are there people in the chat room?
Yeah, there are people in the chat room.
Let's find out who it is. Who's in the chat room?
We got.
Let's start with staff.
We got Uncle Jay.
Yeah, well, not in here, staff. Outside staff.
Oh, we got Agent Palmer.
Yeah.
We got Wesley Ryan Gaskins.
Well, okay, Dom's not in there no more.
We got Dom Torrey.
He's staff, Dick.
Yeah, and
Wesley's not staff. As much as we love him, as much as he might have helped out with a little bit today.
I called you Dick, man. You didn't fucking take that? What's the matter with you? What's wrong coming to?
I'm just defending my boy Dom. I'm just defending my boy D.
Okay.
Well, maybe that was what it was.
matter,
Maybe I
man?
overreacted.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. just. You know,
A little bit.
Not to lie, you're
Yeah, a little
insulting
bit.
him a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
little bit you did.
And that's the end of that.
And John Zybe John Thompson.
John Zombs. I like John Zombs. All right, so he said he likes that nickname too. Shit, what should we do? Should we give them something to do? How do you think they're going to handle this one, buddy? You think they're going to handle it? This is a tough one. It's a challenge this week.
Yeah, so the chat game.
Yeah.
The hashtag game we got for tonight. Mm-hmm. Epitaphs for fictional characters. Examples include, he loved you, you loved him, here lies Barney the dinosaur. And you are not the quote on your tombstone for Tyler Durden.
There you go. So play with it. Play it a little loose, play a little tight, however you want to do it. We don't care. As fictional as you want to be. You can throw Paul Bunyan in there. I don't care. You know, we don't got to get fancy. You know?
Jay, did you ever see Tall Tale?
Despite his Jay cigar.
What's the matter?
You
ever see-
gotta bring out that fucking trash?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
okay.
Oliver Platt as Paul Bunyan in Tall Tale.
I'm running the clock.
I have not.
Patrick Swayze as Pecos Bill.
I have not. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
no.
okay.
See, it's quick. You don't even need that.
There you go. That was
Very good.
That was one of the movies I loved when I was 8. That
You're still
probably
going.
suck.
Still going.
All right, fine.
All right. Damn, I should have let you go. All right. But yeah, we talked about it. So I think this is around about the time we kind of start doing some news stuff. We usually do a little newsification if people are into that. You know. News o'clock.
Cash.
We had a trailer for.
Been a while.
No, it hasn't. It's
I'll
on
take that
every
cash.
show.
Oh, fair enough.
I'll take that cash as a compliment.
Marvel.
It's the new if you remember, Anyway, go on.
First up, Marvel has dropped a trailer for Inhumans.
Will they pick it back up and take it and put it somewhere where we don't have to see it again?
Yeah.
Since they dropped it?
Oh, like maybe 1996, where it looks like it came from.
Not bad. No, I think that's a good timeline.
Oof. So this is the movie that is going to premiere its first 2 episodes in IMAX for a
Yeah.
special 2-week event.
Yeah.
And then move to ABC for 8 episodes.
Maybe they should move it to sci-fi.
Yeah. Even sci-fi is doing stuff that looks a little better. Hey, look, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be harsh on it right here, but, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. I mean, it doesn't look half bad, if you want to know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that maybe that it's cut. The trailer's cut a little crappily.
I'm hoping.
So we actually get something really good.
Yeah, it seems
at
like
the end of the day.
Yeah, I think based on the trailer, it seems like they're trying to overuse under budget CG.
Well,
in some of those scenes.
Fair enough. Yeah. And some of it, yeah.
You
The
know what I
dog,
mean?
the dog looks like they spent all the money on the dog.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that. I don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that's the only real effect shot that you get. Like, there's not really much action going on.
The
I
sets, there's some crappy sets.
yeah, the crappy sets remind me. They look like they're CG'd over styrofoam sets.
Right.
You know what I mean? To try and make them look better. But it looks like there was just a poor CG attempt.
Right.
You know, it was like done with like last year's.
It
Commodore
looks like the
64.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right.
I think also it does become very evident why this works as a comic and might not work as a TV show.
Well, Ed, some people would argue that if it works as a comic.
Yeah, well, and when your
It's a
main
one-trick pony, though.
when your main character's a mute
And I'm fine with that.
and has to be.
And that's fine. I mean, we
Yeah.
can work around it. The comics always
Yeah,
have.
and Rob Lowe in The Stand was good.
Yeah. Look, there's one example.
Okay.
But I mean, like, look, he's surrounded by, all these pompousy kind of, royal speaking type shenanigans. It's all right if one character can't talk. Like, if Game of Thrones had a character who couldn't talk, we'd all be a little bit better off for it, probably. Sometimes it gets a little chatty. But I don't know, man. I think I don't know if IMAX is going to help this thing, because if it's rough on the edges, like, that might just start to show them more. I mean, the wig on Medusa, on the redheaded one, is going to be hellacious, I think, on IMAX,
Well, I can't see them putting it in IMAX if they didn't have some faith in it. So I'm going to withhold judgment until I see a little more.
Yeah.
But I will definitely be there just to support Marvel and to see.
Oh,
the thing
sure.
on the-
Absolutely,
on the
but
screen.
I think it's ultimately a one-trick pony about everybody wanting to move back to Earth.
Right,
And,
yeah.
And if that's the case over the length of if that's the whole hook of the whole show,
Well, I mean, that's
it's going to get to
they're
be
giving you in that
very
trailer.
old school feeling.
Yeah, they're not pitching you the series. They're pitching you like that trailer and that movie. Like, that's the hook of the movie. I'm sure they're going to default into the whole on the run, other Inhumans Among Us, mutant, easy out mute version of mutants kind of thing
This
that
is
Marvel
what
has
I got
turned.
to say about that.
He's sad. He's lonely.
This is the last time we saw that in a Marvel product.
The Hulk
Yeah,
theme?
the Hulk. No, the Hulk,
Yeah.
because he was always on the run.
Oh, fair enough. There you go. All right. So, what do we got next?
So Matt Reeves
Yeah, I know who he is.
directing The Batman.
Yeah, the guy. He just did the Planet of the Apes.
Now,
right?
this is the guy that he can walk, right?
Yes. Yes, Bob.
What, too soon? The guy's dead.
Yeah,
It's the opposite of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, so in
Christopher Walken.
so of course,
There you go. That's a good one.
yeah, Matt Reeves is doing press for War of the Planet of the Apes, but everyone keeps asking him about the Batman, and he's come out and said that it's going to be a noir-driven detective version
Yeah,
of
which
Batman.
sounds great.
Yes.
Frank Miller.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like, the one aspect that's always been missing, kind of, or just never really played hard and fast enough. Like,
Yeah.
Batman always figures shit out, but, like, we don't spend any time with him.
Just give us an episode of Sam Spade, but instead of Sam Spade, we get Batman.
Yeah. I mean,
Talking like that the whole freaking 9 yards. I mean,
The detective
the gams.
portion of Batman. Yeah,
you
that'd
want
be
the,
cool.
Bob wants the literal.
Oh, he wants like the
I want-
film noir narrative narration.
Yeah, I want Batman.
She walked
be
into my
walking into a
cave.
black and white,
Yeah.
There's the babe with the red hair, and the rest of the scene is black and white. She's got her legs crossed.
Just how lipstick
Look
is
at the
red.
gams on
Vicky
this babe.
Vale wore black satin panties.
Right, the whole. That's the era for the character too.
It was just me and my bats when she walked into the cave.
Reminds me how badly I want to bang Lois Lane.
She drove
Anyway.
me batty.
Now let me ask you, how much does this does Deathstroke really fit in with that? And like, what kind of villains do you think we're gonna see out of this?
Well, Deathstroke, not at all. With just by talking about that, like with that doesn't mean anything.
'Cause
You know what I mean? That's just talking about like what the story point and plot of the movie is. Deathstroke is just it's just villain of the movie. Like I mean, is it? It's not representative of anything. I mean, you could speak to that as much as
Well,
anybody
no,
else.
because Joe Manganiello has been hired, and we've seen him in costume as
Right.
Deathstroke.
Yeah.
So, he's assuming he's going to be part of this movie. Like, what do you think now? His role is going to be reduced, or is he going to what kind of part is he playing? Is he the big bad now, or is there someone else?
No, I mean, I think it still falls where we were talking. Like, he's probably not the big bad, but like he's going to be, the physical adversary for Batman for the most part. It might mean that there's a lesser physical bad guy in a sense.
Well, this is the question I'm posing to the table: is like, if it's going to be noir driven and more of a detective story, who do you think the main villain is?
Oh, the Joker behind the scenes.
I would say maybe Riddler.
Riddler?
Because I mean, if you're gonna have a detective-y clue-based thing, I mean, I'd be surprised if they did something like Hush or somebody like a newer villain that's like not on everybody's radar. I'd be very surprised. But I mean, I don't know, Ed. What do you think?
I don't know. Josh Gad keeps telling everyone on Twitter he's going to be the Penguin.
He wants to be. I think it's like what's his name from Drake and Debo, whatever that stupid Nickelodeon show is.
Drake and Josh?
Yeah, he keeps telling everybody, like, he's dropping hints that he's Robin on the Titan show, too. Randomly.
You think maybe they'll bring in the Court of the Owls kind of a thing? That would be like a...
That would be cool. I'd rather see a cinematic version than a TV version.
But actually like a detective story trying to unfold that. That might be very interesting.
That would be really cool. Or to have it be a thing where it's like, they try to pull like a... where it's not, it's like a reveal for the viewer. It's not like a thing that they promote. Like they'll push Deathstroke and maybe some other villain, but in the end, it'll all be Court of Owls. If they did some kind of like last minute reveal like that, like
right.
They're really behind all this.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be a great also added twist to it.
Because it was bringing it back to what Bob is saying. It would be a really cool detective story from Batman's point of view of uncovering the Court of Owls.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be very, very interesting and very well done.
How that whole thing goes down in the comics. It's basically like it's a long form thing of him breaking that down and figuring it out because he doesn't get any real pieces, chunks of it for a while.
But to see it cinematically unfold like that, especially under Matt Reeves too, because he's a really good director.
Yeah.
And this is Batfleck, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
good news. Cash.
Warner Brothers has announced they're developing a live action Jetsons sitcom.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Executive produced by Gary Janetti from Family Guy and Robert Zemeckis of Back to the Future and Forrest Gump fame.
So what we're basically going to end up with is Family Guy in the future in space.
Well, I mean, at least the Family Guy, someone from that house of comedy is involved. It gives you at least a little hope that it's going to have some kind of maybe current edge.
The news itself has a little hope because of the names involved that you just mentioned. You know what I mean? If it was just somebody...
Otherwise, I'm just picturing Rosie being her typical normal bitch self. But more bitchy now.
I love you, George.
Yeah, how do you do Astro in that?
That's CG. That's total CG.
Do you do the Scooby-Doo thing?
I love you, George.
You might just do like the clutch cargo thing.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of like have him keep still and you put lips over him.
Ooh, that tenderfoot. He's silly dog.
Just get a dog like they used to do.
There's
Just get a real dog, put peanut butter in his mouth, and then sit there with the camera in front of him until he gets his...
It's going to be like, what's the chimpanzee shit from back in the 70s?
That dog done been here forever.
What are you doing? What? I don't even understand.
Oh, somebody's not a big Pulp Fiction fan as we thought we were, weren't we?
I don't know. If you're up there doing like...
Ed got it.
I guess. I don't know. All I heard was it sounded like someone with their tongue cut out.
It's clutch cargo, basically, which you just mentioned.
Yeah, but I don't know all the clutch cargo. And I didn't pay a lot of attention
I'm
to that.
saying it from the scene of Pulp Fiction, which is one of your favorite films. But you're sitting there, you don't remember that?
No, I do.
Okay.
I do now, yes. In the moment, like, the impression sounded like you had your tongue cut out.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's the way he sounded.
My bad.
That's exactly the way he sounded. My impressions are fucking good, Dad.
Look, I won't argue.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm sure that they are.
So yeah.
What's next?
Warner Brothers is doing this. There's no network for this yet, so it's just in development, which means probably never going to happen. But it's something to think about.
But I mean, unless Will Ferrell is playing George Jetson, I'm not in it. I'm not into it. Just saying.
He'd actually be very good.
It's just going to be...
that's actually very good casting.
I thought about it before.
That's
it's
very
going to be
good
married
casting.
with children in space.
I mean, that's an easier write-off of it. You know what I mean? You want to, just kind of like,
I mean,
but
that's pretty much what the original was.
I mean, yeah, it's all honeymooners.
Yeah.
A degree of honeymooners. You know what I mean? And so there's that. it'll just be interesting to see what they decide to do with technology. Like, will they run with the shtick and the gags from the old show, or try to like do like the future from today's point of view and have some of that in there? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's going to be all about the vending machine in the house with the pills instead of meals, and like, you know, the treadmill and the dog and the, you know,
Well, no,
space
if you're gonna do the treadmill with the dog, you got to do the treadmill so that it gets covered in dog shit, and you got to clean it.
Oh, you see, that's Family Guy. That's
You know what I mean?
Family Guy
'Cause
all
you're out
the way.
there with
Right.
the dog on the treadmill, he's gonna shit, and then you're gonna walk in it.
Yeah, but it's Zemeckis.
Well-
I don't know.
Zemeckis isn't afraid to go R-rated. You know that. So that's...
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good call. It's a good call. It's a good call.
So,
But it's Hanna-Barbera,
yeah.
so we'll see.
They're dead.
Well, I mean, it's not literally Mr. Hanna and Mr. Barbera any these days.
Well, if the guy that's executive producing, Janetti, he's from Family Guy,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a lot of creative control,
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's going to be...
I'm sure there's some more to this pitch.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys remember True Detective?
I do.
Evidently, that's still a thing.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, it's been a while, and season 2 was not that well received.
It's not that bad, though, either. You know, I
no.
think-
It's a different animal.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
So they've started casting season 3.
Yeah.
And evidently, currently, they're courting Mahershala Ali
Mm-hmm.
from Moonlight. Just won an
Yeah.
Oscar for Moonlight. And House of Cards.
And Luke Cage,
And Luke Cage.
you know.
And if you really want to go back,
Yeah.
the 4400.
Oof.
And you remember that?
What was that, USA?
It was a USA.
Yeah.
It was
Where did we go? We're back.
Yeah.
Where were we?
I think that's an
Nobody
interesting
knows.
choice.
You and Mom were into that show.
I gave her like 3 episodes. She gave her like 3 seasons.
well, and that show ended on a cliffhanger. That's like one of the great sci-fi. Like, oh no, what happened?
Wow, if only Netflix was around then to save it.
It's an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's a good choice. I just, still don't think he was worth that Oscar.
I don't know. I don't know about the Oscar thing, but I mean, like, I'm excited to kind of like see where True Detective this next season will take it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. I agree with you. It's just that.
Yeah, I'm more interested to hear the setting first before I hear the stars.
Oh, the locale is what makes it for you. You feel?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
think-
Season 1, yeah, it was all about the locale. I mean, the locale became part of like the tone of the whole damn thing in a way most shows don't do. But,
Season 1 is untouchable.
yeah, you know, I really,
Some of the most brilliant television in the world.
I feel like I miss it right now. Actually,
It is just, but yeah, Mahershala, he's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. I think that's an interesting choice too, and I'm interested to see who else they get. But again, every time I hear his name, I fear I got a guy. You have a guy that licked his lips for 20 minutes and then grazed his thumb over his chin and won a fucking Oscar. So I'm sorry, but
I don't know. I wouldn't have voted for him either, but I did think he did a serviceable job.
he was all right.
All right, next, Jay, you take this one. This is your baby.
What was that?
Leatherface.
Thing? Hang on. Yeah. Well, I can easily just go without even looking. So apparently they're making a prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they're doing it.
They already did that, Jay.
Would you let me finish for Christ? Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Sorry.
As I was rudely interrupted by my fellow colleague, they're making a prequel to Tobe Hooper's Texas
Right.
Chainsaw Massacre, not Michael Bay's shitty fucking movies or whatever. They weren't that bad. But it's interesting because the movie's been shot, it's been edited, it's done, it's in the can, and it's been shelved for 2 years because they couldn't find a distributor. So now they're finally releasing it this October, and I think it's very interesting because we're going to see like a teenage guy that eventually becomes Leatherface. So I'm kind of interested in that. It's got a decent cast too. Stephen Dorff, Lily Taylor, and Finn Jones from Ed's favorite show, Iron Fist. So there's that.
There's that.
I'm looking forward to that.
As long as Finn dies quick, and early, and he doesn't bog it down, like as long as he's not young
Right.
leather.
Like I really,
Well, I want to see if they catch him making a mistake on film where he's like trying to get the Iron Fist going, and he's like, "Oh, wait, I'm wrong movie."
But the
He
thing
drops the
is,
chainsaw.
I mean, we all know that they banked the shit out of those movies in the 80s.
Oh, yeah,
2,
yeah,
3,
yeah.
and 4, and whatnot. And then Michael Bay came in with his crap, and kind of did it. First, the Jessica Biel one isn't too bad. But I think that this is interesting. I'd like to see this. It's got my cash.
It's got your cash.
So I'll be there for that.
There you go.
And it's called Leatherface.
Just Leatherface.
Leatherface.
Just they should go. No, I was trying to think of the rise wordplay. Didn't have it.
They got to get that like one song with like like Ben, but,
Something sad.
but for Leatherface.
Gotcha.
But if it wasn't for the Texas Chainsaw movies, we wouldn't have Vigo because he was in one of them, and
Right.
so was Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
Now, that was a movie they tried to kind of
Sorry.
like
Bury.
stomp it down like
Because they made it, it was edited, they shelved it,
for
and
years.
then A Time to Kill came out and Jerry Maguire. So the next summer they released that.
Someone was like, "Wait, don't we have these two sitting around?" Didn't we? It's like, as a matter of fact, but it's so shitty.
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah,
Vigo. When I
he
say
said,
Vigo.
he said Vigo like they go way back. Yeah.
I thought you meant the Carpathian.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Absolutely. What else? What else is there in the
From
thing?
Ghostbusters 2?
Yes.
Right. They call me Vigo. My name is Vigo. Carpathian.
The Carpathian.
That little guy.
Sorrow
That
of
little guy.
Moldavia.
I hate that little guy. Everything he's ever in. Like even when he's like a normal person, I still
Like,
want to push
Ally
him.
McBeal?
Yes.
Thomas McNichol from
Yes,
Numbers.
Yes. Now I want to push you down a
From
flight.
Dragon's Lair.
No, Nick. Now he's good. Like now, like he's like I don't know.
Oh
like-
yeah, he's a normal.
Numbers was a good show. I used to watch that.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, like stuff he's done more recently. I don't know. Back in the days, he was just one of those characters. Like he just
Well,
annoyed me.
they did the right thing with him in Numbers. They made him an oddball character that only eats white food.
Okay, I guess.
He was in Heat with Burt Reynolds. Do you remember he's the guy who comes to Burt Reynolds for help?
Yeah, like he was always like a worm, I guess, and that's probably what it was. Was like so whenever he had to play somebody
I'm
normal
sorry.
or straight,
I'm sorry.
like that ruined it.
His name's Peter McNichol, not Thomas.
Who gives a shit?
Well, you know what? Someone's gonna be disappointed that I got it wrong,
Fair enough.
and I think it's.
I think it could have held. I think it could have held for a moment.
They're not going to be disappointed. They're going to be pissed at you.
They're gonna be writing you letters. God knows people don't email us very much.
So yeah, prequel to Texas Chainsaw
All right.
Massacre.
Yeah.
October
What was after
20th.
that? What was after that?
Prequel to Leather. I think it's
Yeah.
the Rob Halford story.
Yeah. With
The young Rob Halford story.
Oh,
prequel
dude,
to
I don't have a
Leather.
pick in my hand.
and to be clear, no Vigo and no Janusz.
You in the mood for some Judas Priest?
Turbo Leather.
What are we supposed to do now? Oh, chat game review.
What? Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what those kids were coming up with.
Yeah, so
let's see if they had. We'll laugh and we'll ring a bell or something when
So-
we hear it. Great.
The chat room game was Epitaphs for Fictional Characters.
Example was he loved you, you loved him.
All right.
Here lies.
Barney
Barney the Dinosaur.
All right, let's go through some of these.
Yeah. What we got here? We
let's
got
do some of these.
Palmer formulated a list.
Yeah, Supersize It for Ronald McDonald.
Oh, that's. Are these famous last words? Did everybody kind of get this wrong? Okay.
Run, Barry, run.
Henry Allen.
Yes, I'm going to say the whole cast of The Flash.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they all got that on
Yes. Angry No More.
there. Oh, Bruce Banner. That's a good one.
Um,
Ben Parker with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
probably have that.
then wait, hang on.
Deadpool. Just, I guess that's
Silence.
like give it like a look.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that is.
Just a blank line.
All right, so
The one thing I couldn't prepare for.
Bruce Wayne. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. Walter Sobchak.
Oh, you know what that's from.
Yes.
Fill it in for people,
Oh, it's Big
Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
It's John Goodman.
just in case. All right, Run from Death, you fools. Gandalf. It's a pretty good one.
I said we needed a bigger boat.
There you go, Brody.
Classic.
See you kids real soon. Krusty the Clown.
I see dead people.
Oh, that's the kid from Sixth Sense. It should be I'm with dead people.
Yeah. Jane, stop this crazy thing. George Jetson.
Death. Stop this death.
Yes. Only Greenskeeper to become the Master's Keeper.
Master's champion.
That's Carl
To become
Spackler.
the Master's champion.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Caddyshack.
And this next one, I'm gonna have to turn the mic. I'm gonna have to turn the microphone.
Why? Because you have to do it at 700 decibels?
Wilma!
Right before he died?
Is that good?
That's good.
Two,
That's
three.
good.
Wasn't too loud.
It probably was.
You know, we do have neighbors.
Yeah. Right now, someone upstairs is like, "Who the fuck is Wilma?
Tell them to turn down the Flintstones.
There's a Wilma in this building? And what the hell is she doing?
Tell
That's
the
pissing
Sweeney
him off.
Boys to turn down the fucking Channel 5.
One of them got a girlfriend? Okay.
I felt the need for speed.
That was Maverick. The power is yours. Captain Planet.
Knowing is half the battle.
These are just slogans now. Oh, okay. Wait, knowing is half the battle. That's G.I. Joe.
Fighting is the other half.
Cobra Commander. That's disgusting.
Kish! Rut, row, raggy.
Raggy. That's the last words. That's a famous last word. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats ho for Lion-O.
And Autobots roll out.
Roll out. All right. Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. Very well done.
Autobots.
That's it. That's it. Just Autobots. You're not gonna give them an order.
No.
Just gonna get their attention and they're gonna stand there and wait.
That's it.
I love that though. That would be a
With an
funny
exclamation point.
That'd be a funny edit. Autobots.
And then he died.
And they're like, "What is it, Prom? We need to know."
The
was that-
Energon cubes.
I think I just did jazz by accident.
Was it Jazz?
What's
I
Michael
think
Bay
so,
gonna do?
Prime.
Ironhide.
I think it might have been Ironhide instead.
Ironhide.
What's Michael Bay gonna do when that old guy that does Optimus dies?
Peter Cullen, man. I don't know what anybody's gonna do.
I'll fill in.
Well, okay.
That's when you finally get to reboot the series. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Then we have to.
Now, I'm already starting to plan to try to see every movie that's nominated for an Oscar in 2017.
Okay. You're planning your.
And according to awardcircuit.com, which is a good resource
if anybody wants to.
You need,
Yeah.
according to that source, you need to go see the Transformers movie, right?
it may be in the mix for at least 3 nominations.
Really?
Imagine if you go and you like it.
So I'm like, dude,
What is? Transformers?
Are you
Transformers.
looking for
The
someone to
Last
tell you
Night.
it's okay not to, Ed? Do you need permission?
No,
Check,
no,
2,
I'm
3.
saying like,
You're
do
right.
I-
You're coming through, buddy.
Okay, all right.
do I have to?
Yeah.
Like should I
Yes.
really?
Well,
should I
if this
really-
is your mission, then you must.
It's not going to get nominated for anything. Come on.
I don't know.
now.
It's been, all the others have been nominated for at least visual effects.
No,
is every category 10 now?
No, not the others.
No,
One
5.
of them, I think.
5.
Maybe you should wait until the list comes out of nominees.
Or the
Yeah.
movies come out. Because
You know
I don't
what?
think it's going
You
to
know
get
what?
nominated.
Let's. Bob's got a good point. All right.
and
You
fuck
know,
them over there.
Oh, wait, maybe I could. You saying I?
You know,
could
the
wait?
Earth is gonna
Yeah.
burn out too.
You're going to
one day.
see enough movies that you're going to see a lot of them on the list anyway,
That-
because you're a big movie guy. So
You're
don't
saying
don't
may-
sweat it yet.
Maybe I could wait till Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it'll be out on Blu-ray before the Oscars come out. So
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving.
So Blu-ray would make
Absolutely.
it a better thing because
I wouldn't have to go see it in the theater. I don't know.
you'd still be paying for it and then have it in your house,
This-
like tainting your home,
Yeah.
spreading its evil.
I could do Redbox.
Yeah, you could just say
There
you
you
saw
go.
it too. You could just say you saw it, man.
Yeah,
No
no,
one
but
will.
that's
No one will know.
it's not going to get anything. But
Yeah,
it'll just
you could
be your-
just you could just say you saw it, and then when anyone asks you, you describe the last movie.
Yeah.
They're not going to know the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, Ed, we're breaking you down. I mean, the other night, like we're gonna get into it in a little bit, but we saw Baby Driver, and you almost left during the credits. But then I was like, well, you know, lights aren't up yet. There might be something. Then we were like, oh, it's a TriStar
yeah,
logo.
But Bill, you say that no one would know.
But you would.
I would know.
You would know.
I would know.
I'm gonna put that on you.
it's also
That's-
called Google when the credits roll. You
gonna-
Google it.
That's gonna be on your epitaph. I stayed until the credits every time. All right, folks. At this point, we're gonna stretch and do some. Meanwhile, we did stuff and saw
Yeah.
things.
Well, you want to just come around and say it since you mentioned.
Oh, Baby Driver, man. Me, Ed, and Jay saw it this week.
Yes.
I liked it a lot. I gotta say, I liked it a lot. A
I
lot
liked
of
it a
fun.
lot.
A lot of fun. Cool, different. You know, it's a heist film, but it's like, you know, it's cars and shit like that. But, you know, getting this, you know, it's presented a little different. You know, what are you guys picking up? Whoever
Yeah.
wants
So
to
the
go.
main hook is Ansel Elgort.
Here's a name.
Yes.
Poor kid.
Star of The Fault in Our Stars. Plays a getaway driver
Right.
who has tinnitus in one ear and drowns it out with music.
Right.
And
He's always got his iPad.
Yes.
His iPod going.
he has multiple iPods.
Yes. True.
And his playlist is the soundtrack of the movie.
Yes.
And much of the movie, not just the action or the scenes of the car chases, but just him walking down the street.
Because he's always got them on, so
Yes.
that's the reason to kind of like always have the music, and it's even like.
But the whole movie is played to that music.
Yes, there's almost no score. There's no. It's almost like zero score to this movie.
That was cool. That was very cool. about it.
Yeah, and that's like I was telling Ed. It was one of these things where like I always kind of had my own head as a kind of like a loose concept for a thing. Like there's all these kind of like favorite songs I've always had. Kind of, and I can always see each one of them in a way where it's like, oh, I could see this set to, just the driving soundtrack of the movie, like the entire thing, like
Right.
the score, the down moments, the up moments, the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? So to kind of finally see somebody kind of like really doing that and shit, it jazzed me in a different kind of way. I really dug it a lot.
That's kind of like, Quentin Tarantino doesn't
Yeah.
usually use scores. I
Right.
mean, he did his in the last film, but that's Morricone. That's a whole different
Yeah,
story.
right.
But I feel this was really damn good. I was really I was blown away by it. I knew that I was getting some positive ink.
Sure.
And I just went in there. I went in on neutral, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I watched a really good crime caper, a rather very good one.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright, he does those quick edits. All the gunshots are going to the score of the songs, which was kind of cool.
Which was kind of cool, and I'm glad they didn't do it any more than they did.
No, they did it just a little bit.
Just enough to kind of give you a feel where it's like, oh, okay, they're doing that again. They did it like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to some, synced up the gunshots to some hard drum lines or guitar lines. And so you see that sometimes in trailers and stuff nowadays. And so it worked here a little bit. But they didn't. I thought I was going to end up seeing more of that.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad I didn't with the gunshots. I thought I was going to get more of that kind of syncing up to soundtrack with the chase scene stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not really what it is. You know what I mean? So
there's some incredible.
But it's great. The chase
There is
scene
some
stuff.
incredible. You want to talk about Oscar consideration? Let's talk about editing, man. I mean, they edit. This movie's all about editing and editing to certain things.
Yeah.
And that kid should get one for acting, like he can drive like that.
No, but I can definitely see if it becomes a weak year, I can see maybe Kevin Spacey squeezing one out for supporting actor because he was so damn good.
Yes.
And first of all, he's great most of the time.
And that's the reason why I feel like he may not get one for this, because he's like Spacey at an 8 or a 7. You know what I mean? But he's not Spacey at a 12.
And then
But he hasn't been Spacey at an 8 recently, except for maybe House of Cards.
Yeah, well, that's what he's putting all that into. Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm saying if it's a weak year, and you know what I mean, I can see them easily going back to this,
Right.
Especially with the critical buzz it's getting.
Right.
So I 4.5 for me.
Okay. Wow. Cool.
Wow. I mean, see the thing with Edgar Wright wrote and directed this, and it definitely has a British gangster movie feel, even though it's set in Atlanta.
Right.
I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there were some moments during the car chases where it was a little too close cutting, and I wanted to see some more wide shots.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a Greengrass Bourne fight scene type of way where you get all these tight cuts, and you don't really get a sense of spatially what's going on.
Sometimes you
in the
could lose
scene.
it.
Well, the beginning, I saw a lot of wide shots.
There was a few that they were really kind of very well planned out. That there's a fishtail scene where the kid comes around a corner from the right hand of the screen. Fishtails across the front of the screen to go to make this hard cut, and that's like he gets so close to the camera that I was like, oh, that was great. And it's not the one that it's not one of the. It's like the finish of the shot you see in the commercial.
Yeah.
But I thought we were gonna get maybe some more pullback shots too.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I think the character.
Yeah.
I think the writing's really good. But you know what? It was weird, and I kind of mentioned this to Belle.
Yeah.
But walking out of there, I kind of expected a little bit more from the car chases. Like, I feel like the stuff that you see in, like, Bullet and French Connection and even Blues Brothers,
right.
I think, especially when you're talking about timing stuff to music.
No, he's not wrong, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
was was tighter.
Let me don't, because I was going to go back to that too. I didn't mind the close-up shots of the car chase.
Yeah.
Because I really liked the reaction shots inside the car of all four of them.
And I think that's
while
why
they're in there.
you had as many as you did.
And
Because they
we
had
don't-
them all in the cars. They wanted you to see them.
Yeah.
Right, and we don't get like very much of that. I mean, another movie is, which I know it hints at, is The Driver by Walter Hill.
Sure.
That's also a lot of long shots, wide shots, and everything. Very few of him inside the car.
Yeah, and Drive with Ryan Gosling is different because that's almost all from inside the car.
Right, and it's also very moody too. It's a
Yeah.
different kind of vibe, that film, so you can't really compare that. But yeah, man, I mean, I really enjoyed this, man. Kudos to Edgar Wright, man.
Yeah, I think it's solid. There are some parts of it that I thought were a little rough, but overall I liked it. I'm gonna give this a 3. I'm gonna give this it's a good movie and you should see it. It's a recommendation.
I'm gonna go a little further. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because 3 3/4, 3 3/4 stars.
It's like me with my 2.5.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not enough to go there. It's not enough to go over here. But like, it's a lot of fun, and I feel like they balance it well. Where like a character like him has like these, what would typically probably be like. In somebody else's hands, it would have gotten studio notes, and it would have became a little bit. His character would be more filled up, and you'd have like more going on with him. Whereas, like he's what he is. He's kind of a quieter kid. He's kind of a softer touch, generally speaking, and the other characters fill up the space. And because you've got great top line actors in it, Jamie Foxx, Ham, the most unbelievable thing, which isn't really that unbelievable because, I'm sure he's dropped dead gorgeous, was just the fact that, like, this 20-year-old is, like, married and banging Ham's character.
But in a criminal, but to be fair, in a criminal...
Like, Ham, you bastard.
In a criminal underworld...
Oh, that's how it goes.
And he's a good-looking guy.
Oh, yeah, don't get me
what I
wrong.
mean?
Don't get me wrong.
So, but I guess also, too, is the fact that the characters, because of the acting... ensemble you have, really brought it to the table and made it believable. I mean, this was,
and we haven't mentioned Jamie Foxx,
which was I was just about to say. I think that I sat there watching the summer popcorn film with a little extra, like somebody put a little bourbon in the milkshake. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing too. Like the movie has some of these scenes where, like, where you kind of go, "Oh, yeah, that's right. Jamie Foxx can act." Fuck. Yeah. Like like it's like okay, he's like one kind of guy in the beginning, but then like as you get to see him, get some dialogue later on, like he gets a little nastier, a little meaner, and it's like okay,
and he gets a lot to do, and he gets a lot to do.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean. And I really just enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, really good stuff.
I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say that it probably will swing an editing nomination.
Yeah, it'll get some technical.
I think so. I'm pretty sure of it with that.
Yeah.
Or at least sound editing, sound mixing.
Yeah, I'd say
it's
it's technical on even the stunt, all that kind of shit.
Because I said
there is no Oscar category for stunts, which is a crying fucking shame.
There is one in SAG though, so that kind of balances it out.
Fair enough. He didn't say what nominations, what kind of nominations.
And I have to tell you real quick, I said this one time to a friend of mine, coming out of the movie Air Force One with Harrison Ford.
Get off my plane.
I said, you know what? I said, not for nothing. I said, but that was remarkably edited. I mean, it was a really tight editing job. And I said, that's going to get nominated. They're like, oh, fucking Jay, you're crazy and stuff like that. It was nominated for Best Film Editing.
Well, that's the thing. When you look at the editing, a lot of times it's not any reflection at all sometimes, or a strong reflection of like these big, movies we were talking about all year, or these big, nominations.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing to remember. The way the Oscars works, everyone votes on the nominees once they've been selected, but the nominees are chosen by the people who work in that field.
Right.
So the editing nominees have been chosen by the film editors in the Academy.
And the thing is too, because I've done video editing, that I can see.
Oh yeah,
like
that changes everything.
How hard everything must have been. You know what I mean? And in how they got all that and the time it took. So I'm pretty certain that I think this is going to get a editing nomination.
Cool.
And as a
there's
graphic
that.
design guy, I'll just say that I was really impressed with the handling of the text and the font when they were doing the sign language.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Not for nothing.
absolutely. Yes,
It wasn't anything amazing, but it was nice. It wasn't.
it was different.
And it wasn't one of these things where, like, it's a little too different or it's a little too jarring. I forget what I saw recently, and it was like when they did the translations. Oh, the John Wick thing. Like, John Wick plays with their text on screen and does a little bit of a different thing where it's like, the particular font they're using is like this, angled Blade Runner font or some shit, like real tech-looking kind of font, and they play with the colors of it and stuff like that. So I get what they're doing, but it almost feels like it's out of place a little bit sometimes. In John Wick.
But I think we can all agree that if you go to the movies to see this, you're going to get your money's worth.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely, yeah. Full recommendations here, and that's what it comes down to, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Ed, why don't you take the next one, because you got something else in there.
Oh yes. So I saw T.J. Miller's new HBO special,
Right.
Meticulously Ridiculous.
I heard about that. How was that?
You know what? I haven't like sat down and watched stand-up specials in a while. I've been trying to like maybe get it, and it's hysterical. But he's like true absurdist. Like
Okay.
really, like I don't give a shit if this makes sense. And
If I don't get laughs, it's fine.
yeah, no, but like he gets laughs. But
No,
that's,
right. But if I only get 5 laughs, those
Yeah.
are the only ones that matter because they get it.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
like on that level where it's like, it's absurdist.
But
so.
just like the guy walks out in a nice suit, but it's like the jacket's open. He's got shit stuffed in his back pockets. It's a mess. He goes out and immediately takes a water bottle and just like drowns himself. And what's funny is you could tell it's shot over 2 or 3 nights because the water stains, which go all down his front, move.
They keep changing because of the edit.
Changing because of the editing.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But no. So just really interesting stuff. He has himself introduced as from Yogi Bear 3D.
Yeah, he's not
T.J.
letting
Miller.
that go.
No.
He's not letting that go.
No, he's convinced that's still his greatest achievement.
He brings it up like on every talk show appearance he does. Like as much as like, hey, like they're not trying to, bring it up. They're not bringing it
Yeah.
up. He does because he
Yeah.
likes that because that's the absurdist that he is. Like he won't let. He knows it's a trash piece.
Yeah. But just pure funny, pure going out there. I'm gonna do everything I can to get the laughs, and it's a lot of fun. You guys should check it out. Meticulously Ridiculous. It's on HBO.
HBO, right? Okay, cool. Cool. And then I got an extra one in there. I got Firebase. This is the next sci-fi tinged short. Well, not really tinged. It's pretty straight. From Oats, Oats Studios.
Yeah.
The Neil Blomkamp related project that's available on YouTube. So I don't know if they're weekly or if it's every 2 weeks or what the release schedule is going to be like. But so this is the second one that they've done, and this is they're not continuations from each other. But this is another one where it's aliens, kinda. I'll say kinda.
Is there dirt?
There is dirt. There is mud. There is jungle. It's in Vietnam, 1971, and it's
So there's sunlight in this one.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, to a degree. Sunlight and napalm.
Okay.
A lot of napalm. But they do a really good job of selling you on the era.
Yeah.
On the making you feel like it's all very true to life kind of a thing. Like this is some little slice of some lost history we might have had. Some other thing that went on during Vietnam kind of a thing.
Okay.
Shot really well again, like the other one.
Yeah.
Special effects on it are really tight. Story's pretty good. What's really good about a lot of short films is that you get in and get out. You get what you need to know, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of good here. Like if this was a movie, it would have had too many other things in it to fill it up. Like, you know what I mean? Or we waited too long to have something happen. It was nice. It was short. It was like, real well done. I kind of thought of the concept of it myself a long time ago. It was like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's like some Roger Corman movie or something out there. But just like with the backdrop of Vietnam, having something else happen, like an alien thing happen,
Well, Kong Skull Island kind of
right,
plays with that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's mentioned. You're not seeing it. This is like like aliens in the middle of Platoon. Like if you were watching Platoon and all of a sudden it's like,
cool.
Or in another sense, it's a little bit like Apocalypse Now, where it's like, okay, we need you to kind of go do a special assignment type thing.
Gotcha.
You know, you've seen the darkness, so we think you have a upper hand, and we'll have you go do this suicide mission, basically. Right. But really good. Can't recommend it enough.
I will look at it.
If you watched Raka, RAKKA, the first piece
that was good.
from our recommendation, I'm gonna give this one. It's obviously not a movie, but for what it's doing here, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 3.5 because it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Cool.
Real quick, be 10 seconds. Fear the Walking Dead has really been bringing it to the table this season. Definitely, if you guys tuned out of it and had like enough zombies, I think you should go back and start watching this 3rd season because it's really damn good. And Twin Peaks is another animal, but I'm still there. And last week's episode was bonkers as all fuck.
Yeah, that was the finale for the season.
No,
right?
no.
Oh, okay.
It's just that this episode, a lot of people have been talking about it. There's been a lot of buzz about it.
Okay.
Because it goes through like I mentioned to you earlier, like a film noir to like a Nine Inch Nails concert to a 2001 type of thing into like an EC Comics horror kind of a feel, which I really appreciated, but it's definitely an acquired taste. So kudos to Lynch, but holy fuck, was I like mind fucked. So 2 great shows, check them out.
Yeah. Like I haven't finished. I'm not catching up fast enough for Twin Peaks, but what a fucking genre blend that is. Like, you know, ugh. Like, not like in a bad way, but just like
intriguing in the same breath.
Absolutely. Like I just, it's one of those. Some of it I know what's going on. Some of it I'm catching on. Other aspects not yet still. So that's what's. Yeah. What the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this?
And believe me, we're 8 episodes in, and like it doesn't even break.
Nice.
Into what we're really dealing with. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Do I need to have seen the original to go through this?
You know, that's a good question. You do and you don't.
Okay.
That's the whole thing, because they keep mentioning things.
They keep showing things, too.
And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That was in the movie. Oh, my God, that's right. That was in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I've been, like, catching up binging. Like, I binged all of American Gods, and I'm about halfway through Glow right now.
The narrative is not as clear as, like, American Gods is. You know what I mean? No. And American Gods is a lot going on.
Really? Because American Gods is not very clear.
Well, it's clear enough to know where it's going.
Great. You figure out what's going on by the end.
But and also too, it's like a normal, typical kind of storytelling format.
Yeah.
It's not like cutting scenes and like you don't know where you are and why you're there for the whole thing, and then at the end of the episode you still don't know.
Well, so like,
and then 3 episodes later you're like, wait, why am I looking at a box on a wall?
The reason why I compared it to American Gods is because American Gods was 8 episodes and Twin Peaks is now on its 8th episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at least we got some kind of arc of where American Gods is going, even though it's everywhere to begin with. Twin Peaks is like a fucking maze.
You know, it's like the difference between like a Picasso painting. It looks like nothing's holding it together. It's like mishmash, mash up, but it's its own kind of art versus like something that's more classical or you're expecting in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's these 2 different animals.
But I can't say that it's not compelling.
No.
Because it is.
But you finished American Gods yet?
Yes, I did.
Good stuff.
It's good.
It's good. I know our buddy
really
Dom
good.
is catching up too.
Yeah, and you know what? I want more Gillian Anderson, and I want more Crispin Glover.
Yeah, Crispin Glover is like
that guy's just
really.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about a character like you don't know what the fuck
like
that's about.
I didn't
Really?
know how much I enjoyed him as an actor until like just those like.
What was that, like episode 4 or 5? He pops up.
No, it's like episode 8.
He pops up.
He pops up in there in the
5,
police
maybe?
precinct.
Yeah. I think it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But no. But
the Marilyn Monroe episode.
Yeah, but just those like 5 minutes with that character you have, you could tell he's channeling his dad's performance in Diamonds Are Forever, and it's just this like really creepy but so juicy.
Well, it makes you want to go back and watch some of his other movies, like maybe like River's Edge or even Willard, the remake of Willard. Like he mentioned, he's great. You know what I mean? And but only he like a role can only be written specific for him.
Yes,
and he'll be the only one that'll
really
Oh,
be able to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of those people. He's a very quirky person. A very quirky actor. Everything about him is quirky. So, but he's a true artist.
Yeah, and you see that, like, when you'd see him talk, under normal situations.
Yeah, I think this is why he gets to, like, throw up his nose at Hollywood and still get work from Hollywood.
Because we're like, okay,
because he's like,
we'll
you know
keep
what?
you at a distance.
Dude, you know what? You're so awesome in everything you do. I just can't stay mad at your crazy self.
Yeah, it's a little
You know
bit
what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I can't, you know what I mean? He's Crispin Glover. What else can you say?
I've heard him in podcast interviews, and he's a very strange guy. But
No,
very
but that's what I'm
interesting.
saying. Like on talk shows and shit, it's like,
well, like
you're not acting when you're in film.
Have you seen the episode of the late David Letterman show where he got kicked off and he's never allowed back on?
I remember
because he almost kicked him in the face.
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
I remember seeing it back in the days.
I actually caught that the other day.
Yeah.
Just by chance, I was doing the Crispin Glover. I was looking up some stuff, and I saw it for the first time, and he's insane.
Yeah, especially and
he was
back
he
then.
was doing a bit,
Yeah,
based on the character in another movie he had done, but no one knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
They thought we're expecting Crispin Glover, the actor, and he's come out as this character. And
no one was ready for it.
no one was ready for it. No one knew what was going on.
That's
He
funny.
was doing
shit.
like karate things. And,
But he said the character thinks he can do stuff that he can't do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's her name from Saturday Night Live, Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Right.
Or kind of like that.
Yeah,
With
pratfalls
a
and shit.
clumsy.
It's a good
hippie.
comparison.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's high kicks.
But if no one knows what's going on,
yeah.
that you're doing this, then it just looks nuts.
Yeah.
And he was okay with that.
Yeah.
The only man to sue Steven Spielberg and win.
Yeah, it's because of him. There's
Well, Amblin. He sued Amblin.
he sued them, and it's because of him now. There's special likeness rules.
Yeah, because of
in
the way
contracts.
the way they edited Back to the Future 2.
Oh, okay.
They had a different actor play
Right.
his character in the future scene, but they used all of his stuff from that they shot in 1
Right.
and didn't pay him
Yeah,
for it.
and they just made the other guy look just like him.
Yeah. So they made, the argument was that you're paying this other actor and making people think that Crispin Glover is in the movie.
Right. So therefore, he's entitled to something from that.
Right.
And he
Yes.
did. They did.
And that
He
makes
won.
sense.
And
Good.
He won. Yeah, he won.
Yeah,
Good.
that is considered a landmark copyright case in
Good.
Hollywood.
And fuck them for trying to get over on it
Yeah.
just because he didn't want to do it. Well, look who won.
They even mimicked him too.
Because the
Like-
reason he wasn't in the next one is because he bitched about the ending in the first one. How when Michael J. Fox comes back, the family's got money.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a very monetary 80s ending.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
yeah,
So
he,
he didn't like that.
he thought it sent the wrong message, and he voiced that to the filmmakers, and
The Zemeckis, I
they
think,
thought,
did.
it was.
And Zemeckis just didn't like him.
And they might have been like,
Yeah.
all right, we have to cut our losses with this kid right
But
now.
he
he's
did-
too,
Right.
he's troublesome and he's fucking weird as
Right.
fuck.
Yeah,
And no one was expecting to make a sequel to this movie. It wasn't meant to be a sequel.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Wasn't-
he calls up Bob Gale. He thought Bob Gale had it in for him.
Right.
was
Screenwriter.
really the force.
Well, Zemeckis used him again in Beowulf.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's, whatever that is. that's
Yeah,
been
time
tied
heals
up.
all wounds and you blame it on coke and being young.
exactly.
I was on coke and I was young then. I'm good now.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, you got a guy like him, and he's still working, no problem in Hollywood. But then you got Mickey Rourke.
Well, I wouldn't say no problem. I wonder if, one of the reasons we haven't seen him is because people yes, you're going to get a quirky guy
Oh,
to
yeah,
play
absolutely.
quirky roles, but he's a handful to deal with.
But he's only doing regular roles to make money to do his own thing.
yeah, but his own thing ain't much.
No, I mean,
I mean, the guy,
the
the
one
guy,
thing with the Down syndrome cast, right? He did one movie where people were all
yeah,
just to prove a point to Hollywood that you can make a good movie with people who aren't attractive
Fair
or
enough.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, John Waters did that too.
yeah.
So.
Well, he also travels the country doing these slideshows,
Oh.
performances of these books that he's written.
yeah, I saw one
Oh,
of them.
that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about
So,
that.
something about a clowny clown or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's another one about rats. I forget the
Ratty Rat.
Well, he's in Willard, and I think
Yeah.
he did a music video. He actually
Oh,
that
Jesus
that
Christ,
song
I'm
you played.
done.
That song you played. He actually did a version of that. No, Ben.
That's close enough. It's all in the same soundtrack, probably, right? No?
No.
Fuck. All right. Anyway, all right. So I don't know how we ended up there, where we started from, or what was going on.
It's Ed's fault.
Well, what the fuck, Ed?
We mentioned no.
It's Agent Palmer's fault.
There you go.
We need a producer around
Jay
here.
was talking about Twin Peaks. American Gods
right,
came up.
right.
I mentioned that I'd binged it.
Fair enough.
And Crispin Glover.
It's good
led us to
podcast. It's great podcast.
All right.
So I was right. It is your fault. Ed.
Yeah.
Says the guy who's a little biased. I'm just going to say, you're on a podcast. That's easy to say.
And I'm saying that it's good fucking podcast.
By the way, American Gods.
Cash on season 2.
Yep.
All right. So, whoa, easy, buddy.
I went over there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's going to wrap that up. I think what we're going to do is in a moment.
Snail mail.
What time is it? We're at 1:04. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do mail next, but I got to read the Audible read. I have nothing for you three to do to keep yourselves occupied. But if our listeners are looking for ways to, Bob, I'm doing a.
Sorry, you had nothing for us to do.
Cheesecake.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you done?
No.
I saw your hand hovering over your cheek, right? I'm like, he's not. I'm going to start reading, and he's going to start doing it again. All right. Can I read the? Can I read the promo
Near the mic.
for Audible?
Yes. Go
Thank you. All right. So something to keep anybody busy who's looking for something to keep them busy is audiobooks from Audible. We got a deal going with Audible. It's Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/Wicked Theory, and they're gonna give you a free 30-day trial to give the service a try and a free audiobook download. So if you're living under a rock and like you don't know what an audiobook is, I think it's self-explanatory, and I'm not going to break it down because maybe you're the problem. But if you want to check out audiobooks, if you want to give them a try, like you never really gave them a try, but you listen to podcasts, you like stuff like that, why don't you give Audible a try finally? You know you've been thinking about it. You can't listen to us all the time, and I know that you don't listen to any other shows because that would be wrong of you, right? You don't cheat on us, right?
Whatever you say,
Dear
Bill.
listener. Jay speaks for all of you, and I'm sure that he does. All right, so if you want to go check out books like The Hobbit, stuff by Stephen King, 2001, Ed, name a book.
Dear Mrs. Fitzsimmons
Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein.
See, there you go.
by Greg Fitzsimmons.
By Greg Fitzsimmons. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bob, name a book.
War and Peace.
There you go. That's probably long, but I bet you it's on there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is because that's a good reason to be listening to a book instead of reading a book.
If it's just too long and too big to carry around. You know
War
what
and
I mean?
Peace is the Freebird of books.
There you go.
So imagine what the audiobook is.
I think that the Bible is the free bird of books.
War and
Probably.
Peace read by Lemmy.
Red Lemmy. It's the stairway
War
to
and Peace.
it's the stairway to heaven of books.
Okay. No, Freebird.
Not Freebird. I don't know which one comes above the other one though.
No, I mean, they're
Free-
both played. And
No, that's for sure.
Freebird's longer.
Freebird is definitely longer.
Freebird's almost twice as long.
Which one's more beloved is kind of what I was thinking.
Stairway, I think.
Yeah, I think so, right? All right. So, not about music, kids, but if you like audiobooks, give Audible a shot, all right? Do it for us. It supports the show. audibletrial.com/Wicked Theory. Again, audibletrial.com/Wicked Theory. All right. I hope they liked they liked that promo.
Bell.
A bell? There was a bell? Why was there a bell?
I didn't hear no bell.
I was confused by the bell.
Well, Saved by the Bell.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm
You look
alright.
like you were ready to fold it up and go home or something.
Yeah, no, I was just checking to see if something was under here.
He's
and
on
it
cough
wasn't.
medicine again.
Are you looking for something in particular?
No.
Oh.
Wesley says Freebird is more beloved in his opinion.
Ask Wesley what state he's from.
Wesley, what state are you from?
Virginia.
All right, so Freebird, that's the state song.
I believe. I could be wrong. I might be wrong about Virginia, but I know he's in the ballpark. All right.
Sweet Home Alabama may also apply.
Yeah.
So you got to follow Palmer's advice?
What is Palmer's advice? I'm not. I don't have the chat room
Oh, you don't
open.
have the chat
I don't
room
have the
open? Oh,
in-house chat.
He thinks we should do a round of super fight.
We should do one round of super fight. I mean, how long ago did he write that? Because
don't
he
know.
might change his mind by now.
I don't know. I think it was sometime towards the end of the meanwhile.
Sometime towards the end of the meanwhile.
I thought Palmer's advice was to palm something. Just, something. Palm it.
Indiana Jones versus Nathan Drake, SmackDown style. What do we got?
No, that's a whole different game.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's a super fight.
No, it's not. You
It's
just
pop culture characters.
yeah.
What are we talking about
Yeah, but
again?
we got to pick the cards first.
Oh,
I think
Yeah, we weren't doing it like that, but,
person A
all right,
wins
whatever.
with a forearm.
he just was. See, I was just looking for a quick answer. It would have been over and done with.
Death by people's elbow.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody. Just somebody to say something. All right, so well, I guess that since we said it out loud, now we got to do it. All right, so
Whatever you say, Bill.
well, you know, fucking, I wouldn't have read that out loud from Palmer, but whatever.
Baba Booey.
Baba booey. I mean, you know, I wasn't
Well,
stalling.
how about this?
What?
Since we're strapped for time.
Strapped for dime.
We got emails. That usually takes about a year and a day.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to dodge anything about Super
let's
Fight.
let's just pick 2 random characters, and just say, strong on without any debate,
Yeah.
who would win?
Okay. So you picked 2 white cards from the deck.
Why not the black cards?
No,
Because
because
those are
characters.
those are attributes.
All right.
Oh,
So, and I think this is
I think Jay's having some kind of breakdown.
so white
These are-
people got no
these are-
personalities now.
these are the
Jesus Christ.
simplest character cards I've ever seen.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
So one versus the other. What
so
do we
who
got?
would win?
Right.
A wizard
Okay.
or a robot?
Bob Sweeney.
Baba Booey.
Well, if that's all we have to go on, is that one is a robot and one is a wizard, I'm going to give it to the wizard.
Of course.
Yeah, really,
That's
'cause
no brainer.
Because we don't know. The
Yeah,
robot could just be like working at
Yeah,
a
you can go
car
to Kmart
factory.
and buy a robot that does that vacuums your floor. So
Yeah, does that to your floor, whatever word that was.
Mickey Rourke versus Lenny Dykstra. That's a real feud, actually.
Okay.
Jay's just going to name 2 random people. Now.
No, that was actually a YouTube back and forth thing.
No,
they had
no,
a falling out or something.
No, I believe you. I'm sure it was 80s. Somebody. I mean, if it's got Lenny Dykstra,
No, it was 3 years ago or something like that.
what did they fucking run into each other at some shitty signing?
It was something. I mean, you got to look it up. I'm
Oh
not sure.
God, I
but
don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
talk
say
YouTube feuds. What was
it-
this ESPN dude?
I think Mickey Rourke would beat the shit out of him. To be
Yeah,
honest
no,
with you.
I'm gonna say John Wall is gonna walk all over the Zumba.
What?
You lost me, man.
Now you're making references.
John Wall is a basketball player for the Washington
Why
Wizards.
are you fucking doing this?
All right.
Yeah, go on and
Sports.
And the
sports
Zoom-
alert. Sports alert.
and the Zumba you brought in for.
All right, I'll take
No, not the
full
Zumba.
responsibility for that.
What's the vacuum cleaner? What's it called?
Hoover?
Roomba.
The Roomba. That's what I meant to say.
Hoover?
even still,
Zumba is exercise, Ed.
Yeah.
even still.
Even still.
Eureka.
Yeah, I just didn't. I still don't know what it
The
is.
wizard. That wizard would beat that robot.
Okay.
With Mr.
good.
Wizard from the Nintendo movie.
Oh, I thought you meant Mr. Wizard from like Nickelodeon and Canadian television.
No, Fred Savage.
Fred
from
Savage.
he could beat that robot.
You probably could because he'd have that Nintendo glove.
I didn't realize Stairway was that long. I thought Stairway was like 7 minutes.
Well, speaking of
It
7
also
minutes,
depends on which version of Stairway you're looking at, too.
Yeah. Wesley is saying Stairway's 1455 and Freebird is 1458.
I think the length
Oh,
of
those are-
Stairway depends on how much heroin Jimmy did before the show.
Well, those are live versions. So that
And a Gata Davida.
shut up.
That's 17, I think.
Yeah, well, that's because it's like the simplest riff on earth. You know what that-
Emails.
you know what that line is supposed to be?
In the-
In the Garden of Eden.
Right.
But he's too wasted to say it.
Yeah.
So they just said, fuck it, put it out that way.
That's the way to do it. If the rest of the guys in the band aren't convinced. All right, so the first email is going to come from Chad Rose, and this one's directed to Jay and Ed. So me and Bob can kind of like sit back and take a nap during this one, because this one's like really directed at you.
Fair enough.
okay.
Do you guys like Criterion editions of films, and why haven't we seen any lately? Or maybe we are, considering releases like Logan. Considering that releases like Logan Noir a Criterion.
Want me to go,
Question
or do
mark?
you want me to go? Want me to go?
Jesus
Well,
Christ!
Let's
okay.
answer the second one part first.
What, like Logan?
Well,
Not being on a
like
Criterion?
why haven't we seen that many Criterions? Is because they're fucking expensive to produce.
Well, there's a-
and a lot of the movies that they would cover, they've already covered.
Well, there's another reason actually, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's studio rights.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? The studios do their own special editions.
Because the Criterion Collection is an independent collection distributor of DVDs.
Oh, okay.
And,
Right.
That's not just to one particular movie house or
No,
studio.
no. They do a lot of classic, mainly independent and foreign films.
Right. So they have to weigh a lot of options.
Well, I can go a little deeper with that because Criterion dates back to the Laserdisc era.
Yes. Deeper. Yes, this is where it started.
And the thing is that in the Laserdisc era, you got Criterions of Casablanca and King Kong and all these other movies that you couldn't believe. Like if you would have a Criterion of that particular movie in your hands now, you'd think you'd have gold. But people went through that already. And then studios started getting hip to the jive and saying, you know what, we can do our own fucking, special editions.
You're like, yo, man, we're hip to the job, man.
Certain people,
we're doing our own edition.
Like certain people, like Wes Anderson has a deal with them, I think.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson don't need none of y'all.
Terry Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam.
He's got, I think, an in with them as well. So it all depends on, what was signed in the contract these days.
Yeah. And but they do masterful restorations.
Oh, absolutely.
And really in-depth special features.
Right.
I remember the Do the Right Thing.
Will you shut that off? I'm trying.
Just when you hear it, you got 30 seconds.
The Criterion version of Do the Right Thing.
To answer an email.
Was like $150.
That's not directed at you. For may I point out?
But for how long?
Didn't you say you were going to go and sleep? We're going to go.
Bob already left. He was so fucking bored. Bob left. That's all I'm saying.
So to answer his questions, I love them.
Sure.
But I haven't seen a lot of them because I couldn't afford them.
Oh.
So you know, Bill, I was going to come back with a bag of chips and start eating it, eating them on air.
They love the listeners love that.
Chad, I'll have you know that I own about
this conversation.
75% of the Criterion Collection. I am not joking about that number.
I kind of believe you.
You know what's funny? When it went on Hulu, Billy and I were half thinking about teaming up with a buddy and doing a Criterion Collection podcast, and that didn't work out because it was off Hulu like a month later. But it sounds like you could actually make that happen.
Oh, absolutely. I can show you the pictures. But, the thing is, too, there's a lot of different people, different companies out there. Arrow is another name now, that they're doing Criterion kind of quality to like second, third rate movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like B films, which I'm ecstatic about because they deserve. I always thought that certain movies deserve a Criterion. Now Arrow and even Shout Factory to a lesser extent is doing some great stuff.
Yeah. Well, another thing I remember, Kino International does a lot of restoration of silent movies and really older
Let me
movies.
sit there.
From,
Let me sit in your seat for a minute.
I put a slider on the volume, and then you stopped talking. I was like, shit. And then you saw me.
Because I know what you're going to do.
Now I can't do it to Ed.
I know exactly what you're going to do. Hey, you know what?
All right, don't worry. I don't blame you two. I blame Chad for the email. Because he knew it would be right up your alley. All right. But it was a good question. It really was.
I wouldn't know, judged by what you did here. That fucking song and dance you just performed in front of me.
fucking asshole.
Anywho, yeah, that's the reason why. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it on the What's Your Work. We'll go about a half hour on Criterions.
All right, there's another one, but this one is a little bit for everybody. All right,
we'll let you take it.
All right,
and I'll take control of the audio board.
We'll swap seats. Jay's gonna be like,
I'll just crawl right over you.
Jay's gonna be like, all right, what about this noise? All right, nope, not that one. What does this do? Oh, whoa, that's even worse than a countdown clock.
I'm surprised that Miko Empire Strikes Back theme is not queued up on that thing. Because you were really grooving.
Well, we do have a new addition to the board. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. All right, so this one's from Agent Palmer. I think we do have a theme for Agent Palmer.
Oh, okay.
We haven't had an email. Classic. I love it still. Haven't heard it in a while. Bob, give it to us again. Ooh, we're going to put the mic up to the speaker and everything. I hope he feels special now. I'm just saying.
The man who
effects cost money.
an email from the man who's retired from sending us emails.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But he had a good one, so I told him to give it to us anyway.
I kid.
Because I love. Here's one of these hypotheticals. You own your own personal movie theater. Opening weekend, what movies do you show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night? 3 movies.
I answered this question on Twitter already.
Why, who threw that to you?
Somebody that Agent Palmer was following. So somebody else. So he responded to it, then I did.
Well, that's good. Well, then you already come prepared, so that gives us maybe some time to think about it. So what are your answers?
Friday, I said Empire Strikes Back.
Sure.
Saturday, I said Mean Streets, Scorsese's Mean Streets.
Okay.
And Sunday would be Bakshi's American Pop.
Interesting.
I'm guaranteeing that theater to be open for a long time after that weekend.
Well,
I'm a little full of myself.
Okay.
I'm making
Fair
money.
enough.
No, I'm making money because I got Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Sure.
I got Star Wars,
Okay.
the original, A New Hope. Fuck the subtitle.
Yeah.
We don't go by subtitles.
Yeah.
No, the original one where Han shoots first.
Right.
Sure.
Amen. Bill.
Oh, fair enough.
And then so that's 2.
Uh-huh.
And then I had the third one all lined up too.
Showgirls.
I know Kentucky Fried Movie.
Fuck you, Showgirls.
I know Kentucky Fried Movie is a favorite of yours.
No, that's a classic, but
The thing with 2 heads.
That's a Friday double feature.
The thing with 2 heads.
No, it wasn't. No, come on, now I can't think of it. Now I can't. Now I've lost it.
All right, so
The Wicked Theory podcast on Sunday in front of a screen.
Shit.
So we had Rocky Horror, Star Wars, and E.T.
E.T., there you go.
or Jaws.
That'll do.
That will make some money.
That'll guarantee you open for a while.
Yeah. So I'm gonna close.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think it'll be just me.
because that's just gonna have the one seat in the theater.
No, because
I'm not sharing this.
Friday night I'm gonna show my favorite movie of all
Okay.
time, which is The Usual Suspects.
Okay, nice.
And Saturday,
Good choice.
I'm gonna go commercial. We're gonna do Superman the movie.
Okay.
And then Sunday,
Yeah.
just throw a whole what the fuck is this?
Sure.
And everyone, I'm Jacques Tenor's I Walked with a Zombie.
Ed, I just fell in love with you.
I think he might have said just for that effect. Yeah, so you'll make a little bit of cash. But
Val
then
Luden,
none. Okay, fair enough. But you'll have to remind people that it's French, but it's a zombie film.
Oh no. Jay, you want to tell them about what I Walked with a Zombie is?
That's Val Lewton?
Yes.
Yes.
It was his second movie with Jacques Tenor.
Was it a second?
Yeah, Cat People was first.
Right. Cat People was first. Yeah, it's a 1940s horror film. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but it's definitely something that Martin Scorsese has hailed in the past.
Yes.
It is quite good.
Yeah,
But it's 1940s?
Yeah.
So it's up there with like Nosferatu?
That's 20s.
I'm off by 20 years, but from where we are, that's
a lot.
That's like a half of that.
It's a lot.
They are both black and white, but one actually has audio.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but
Bob fact of the day.
I haven't seen it in 20 years.
Basically, this is the guy who really brought horror into a realm of the scariest thing is what's not on screen.
Right.
Okay.
What you don't see is what truly more horrifying than anything we could ever show you.
Right.
And I think that's the best example of that.
He was good at that. Luton, Val Luton.
All right, so for me, so since it's all about me, and I don't care, theater can shut down, I'm just going to run, nights almost don't even matter. I'm just going to run Akira. I'm going to run Memento. And maybe it's, Sunday night. Jeez. We'll do Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I was going to say something like Transformers a movie because I was kind of just hankering to see it because I haven't seen it in a while and I was watching some stuff about it the other day. But I realized that that's why it's in my head. So I'd go Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
I think Reservoir Dogs probably would have been my first Tarantino instinct.
Yeah.
But I feel like Reservoir Dogs in a theater could possibly put you to sleep. Doesn't have it's not as activity going on. Well, it's a different kind of animal.
Well,
There's a lot of why do I got to be this color?
Well, Reservoir Dogs does get like a revival every now and again. I know that AMC's done it a couple of times, and so it's almost like you want to get films that are not.
Yeah.
Around, or you haven't seen it in the theater since.
Right.
And when I say Empire Strikes Back, going along with Bob
Yeah.
said, the original cut.
Well, maybe
Empire.
that's what we
You know
got
I
to
mean?
do to keep this circle going. Because if we're going to have these theaters all in the same area, we're going to be competing against each other. So if we all agree to show a different Star Wars movie, we can keep that crowd moving around town, and we all get a little piece of the nerd pie.
Right.
All right? Maybe
Yeah.
we'll work something out. Just a thought. I don't have many of those.
Well,
that are
if-
Throw in a free large popcorn.
If you're
for
going for the
Chewbacca pop.
original trilogy, it'll be the original cuts of the trilogy. You will get asses and seats from that.
Yeah? No, that's,
Yeah.
you know what? That alone.
And those prints are out there.
They are. Absolutely.
So,
And then do Spielberg Sundays at my place.
so the next one is from our friend Stephanie.
Steph, how you doing,
From
Stephanie? Hey.
the Gotham Lights podcast.
Arizona gal.
She's hot wherever she is.
Yeah, there's about 120 degrees in the refrigerator right now.
Right.
In Arizona.
Nice turn on that one. All right.
I'm going to put the soup in the fridge.
Yeah, really.
Keep it warm.
Yeah, keep it warm. It starts out as usual. Hey, yous guys. Since Baby Driver is out this weekend, and at least a couple of you have seen it, I have a music question related to the movie. If you were a baby, what would be on your driving music playlist? Also, how did Ed drive home after the movie? Did I call it? She wants to know. That'll do it for this email. Take care, fellas. Your pal, Stephanie.
Bill, how did I drive?
Like a gent. Yeah, you know, if I was with somebody else, they would have been like, let's just see if you can really pull off that fishtail spin. Like, you know, that 180
Well,
turn.
if you were with me, you might have seen it because I do drive a manual.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a key part of it. But no, you were very well, reserved and whatever, cordial or some stupid nice word. But so what is on your driving music playlist?
Go ahead.
Well, I got to hear some Blues Brothers as soon as we left the building.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did.
That
put
probably
on
would something from that soundtrack would probably be on
Yeah.
yours, I would think.
Yeah, I did put on their first album.
Yeah.
Well, we know what would be on my list.
Sure.
If we're talking about Baby Driver,
Right.
which is the one song that it isn't on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Right.
which I was
Which
upset
is
about.
Kiss, Baby Driver.
Yeah, that's a great song. I was
doesn't it
waiting
close?
for it, actually.
It's a great song.
It's not in it, no.
It closes with a song by who's that? Because it's got the line "Baby Driver" in it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's somebody
It
known.
might be in the movie, just not on the soundtrack they released.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to be in the credits though. But anyway,
baby driver,
keep on driving
all night long.
oh Jesus Christ, it's definitely not that song. This was like
Peter Criss, one of the few who sings.
Yeah. One of the few times. Basically, I heard the reason that they don't really use the song at all is because they don't like Peter anymore.
no. So,
Of course not.
So why give him
out,
anything?
They've come
Sure.
out and actually said that, look,
Yeah.
Peter was like having a baby around. And he would be like, look, I'm not doing this song unless I sing this song.
There you go.
And Baby Driver was one of those.
Not only that, he's also the coolest one. You know what I mean? He's a guy you'd have a shot in a steak at a bar with. You know what I mean?
I don't
He was
know.
cool.
I've heard some stories about him. Like he's basically an idiot.
Really?
He's an idiot, and he's got the personality of he's an asshole.
Really?
He's not-
I
he's
heard
not-
that about Gene Simmons, but
Well, Gene's just a prick.
he's a smart guy, but he's
Yeah,
pretty.
he's a smart prick. But Peter, according to what I was listening, there's a couple of YouTube videos with the interviews from Paul Stanley, where he say, look, Peter was a jerk off. He couldn't keep time. We actually would have to say, now this is the part that goes da 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 in the recordings, so that he would know to go da da da, instead of just going 1 2 3 4 1 2 3.
Yeah, he wasn't the best drummer in the world, but
no,
he,
but
Wait, was he the spaceman or the cat?
the
He was
cat.
the cat.
Oh well, there goes it, because that's the stupidest of those those four characters.
Yeah, but they said they went with that
the most
character
real.
for him because they figured, you know what,
He was a pussy.
Yeah, but it was the most like him, is what the way they put it.
You know what? There's nothing like listening to Judas Priest's Painkiller doing 95 on the Parkway.
Oh yeah.
So, if you're like, you're coming out of that movie.
Oh, with some Heads Are Gonna Roll or some Free Will Burning.
Yeah.
Free Will. Who's that? What did you say? that was?
Both Judas Priest.
Judas
Free Will
Priest.
Burning and Hellbent. No, not Hellbent for Leather, but you could do that one too.
I don't drive, but I would have my driver, Chauncey. I'd have him put on like any of those '60s kind of real drive songs or
Yeah.
something like Born to Be Wild.
Some
I
Dick
mean,
Dale, maybe some surf
Oh,
music.
some surf rock.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. I'd have to get up on top of the car and do like Teen Wolf. And fucking-
Yeah.
And surf along. I was going to say, what is that other one? My hands wet on the wheel. Driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's got the big
I Can't Drive
Chevrolet.
55 is a good one, too,
There
for
you
the,
go.
for the road.
There you go. That's a
Oh,
good one.
And the last...
Not that one. I'm still on the other one.
And the last...
Radar Love. No, yeah,
Radar Love, yes.
Radar Love.
Yes, Radar Love.
But, well, there's different kinds of driving songs you can use. But
Oh,
if you're
sure.
talking about speed, and stuff, like even the last...
Speeding Back to My Baby. Another
Oh,
Kiss
well,
song.
another
look,
kiss.
anything that's, over a certain amount of beats per minute.
Yeah, see, like,
Iron Maiden's Hallowed Be Thy Name. That last
Yeah.
yeah.
few minutes of the song, man, is just phenomenal.
See, like the only things that are coming into my mind are songs that calm me down when I'm stuck in traffic, like being stranded on the BQE.
Right. You're
Because
going to
it-
the opposite
Because
kind of
there's
way.
an
I got you.
accident to
Like
the no
Captor of
shoulder. Yeah. No, I was thinking like
So you're sitting there listening to James Taylor.
no, yeah, like New York State of Mind.
Right.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, that's a great
I
You
get,
and I-
but the day Ed goes nuts in traffic and pulls out a revolver from that's gonna be playing in the background.
that's as he slow-mo shoots everybody, right?
Everybody.
Nice. I picture Piano Man in the background. But hey, whatever floats your boat. So, speaking of music, I got a little thing.
All right.
That's it.
Anything else we got to pay for?
He sent me a couple of different. He sent it in. Wesley, young Master Wesley. All right. So, hey, you gentlemen and Lord Bob. Also, fuck you, Jay. Okay. This is just how people want to be greeted around here, I guess. All right. Do you think there'll come a day when comic movies will be so much for the comic reader that a non-comic reader couldn't enjoy the movie due to that lack of information on character or story or some other aspect, I guess? Then he's got another question.
I think that's going on now.
I think
critics.
Yeah, I think to a degree, but I don't know how much of that's like really true. I think sometimes when people like that aren't comic readers watch a comic movie and they don't like it doesn't work for them, they kind of start to think. Same thing with a book based on like any adaptation. Really, sometimes some people come at it and go, "Oh, I wonder if like maybe the book is better." You know what I mean, or
Well-
something, or if it was missing something from the book because it didn't work on me. I think that's almost like a default for some people.
I've said this a few times on the show, and the fact is like you have some. Let's take the Marvel universe for a minute.
Sure.
Take the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Where to?
If you watch Iron Man 2, let's just say, okay, that it's kind of lukewarm compared to others. You know what I'm saying? Even Iron Man 3. I'm still watching an Iron Man film that I never got years before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
sure.
So I enjoy watching Iron Man 2 and 3 simply because of the fact that I'm watching Iron Man on the screen again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is they're not better than the first film. They're not better than Guardians, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
No, they're fun.
critics will review the film within context
Of only itself.
of itself.
Right,
Exactly.
fair.
And
Clean, yes.
And therefore they're going to see the flaws. They're going to see,
Sure,
that it's
sure.
inferior to other
Right.
things. And whereas we give it an extra 1.5 because we're watching Tony fucking Stark battling Whiplash.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
and you know what? I've seen references that are offhanded that are like, okay, like, sure, like, obviously a regular viewer is going to dismiss it as easily as I did, but I'm dismissing it because I got this other kind of subtext, or I just know what that is. So
Yeah.
I might notice like, oh, okay, they didn't directly name that thing, but I get it. So like, you do wonder sometimes, like, for people who don't get this shit, does it start to feel like,
Right.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
Then that's fine.
I
That's
think
fair.
so
I
because
wonder.
those kinds of nuggets that we revel over, that we go, oh my god, that's great. I think non-fans don't notice. I don't think it's that they think, oh, I don't get it. I think it's like, oh, that's what that means later on.
Yeah,
When they
it's
when
not
they,
the
when they
big
call
deal
back
for
to
them.
it.
For them, it's just a regular.
It's not
just-
even that. It's like the flaws of the film itself.
Yeah.
They'll pick up on and say, well, that's a flawed movie, and that's this, and that's
but
that.
that has nothing to do with whether or not it's too comic booky or or they're throwing too
well,
much.
I'm not
at you.
really saying that. I'm saying
Yeah.
that if they're reviewing, they're reviewing Iron Man 2 in the same way they would review
Yeah.
something like Pulp Fiction or something like that. You know what I mean? A critic is going to sit down, go into neutral, and take this film. All right, it's a candy-ass comic book movie, you know what I mean? Ricky Rourke was kind of cool, but where did his character go? Whereas Bill and I will sit there and oh, God, it's Whiplash, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So the cool factor, we give it a little bit more of a pass.
But
as a film itself...
Yeah. By the way, Sam Rockwell is great in that movie. He's the best part, and I want to see more Justin Hammer.
Well,
I'm not pissing on Iron Man 2.
stay on topic.
But people did, I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's where they're going. I think fans are actually picking them apart now.
Yeah.
But I do see now, but here's the thing, not really directed to this, but I do start to feel like the Marvel movies, especially once we get into Avengers and Infinity War, will start to feel like, if you haven't seen all of them, or if you haven't seen them at all, that you will now start to feel like, or get the impression that oh, I gotta watch them all, I guess. If you're not really into it or whatever, if you're on the outsider,
Right.
there's another reason for you to stay on the outside. It's almost like a flip side of this kind of a question where it's do you have to, for the average comic reader, do they have something that somebody else doesn't? But here's the thing, going into Avengers Infinity War, you can't just walk into that.
Okay, so the
but that's not going to be an issue because everybody who's seen any of these movies is going to see Avengers Infinity War.
Well, I guess, that's fair. It's
Yeah.
if you've seen one, you've seen enough maybe to be able to walk in.
I think you probably need to see a lot of the movies to see the Avengers movies, but I don't think you need to see any previous movies to see Ant-Man or Doctor Strange.
No. Individually, they can all stand. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if the Avengers movies, because even the first one and the second one, not too bad. You can still kind of walk into them and get what's going on if you know the characters tangentially enough. Okay,
Yeah.
Captain America's this. Thor's actually a god. Okay, Stark is some rich guy with a suit. You know what I mean? But
I think if you've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you've seen enough to really sit down with Infinity War.
No, but I do remember, especially when Ant-Man came out, which is also what I call a risk movie.
Sure.
And the thing is, I remember at the time, there was one critic saying, so somebody thought it was a good idea to take this Ant-Man character that existed in the comic books years ago,
Right.
whereas we wouldn't start a review like that because we know Ant-Man. We've known him for years.
well, I might. I'm a douchebag.
But you know what I mean? I think that, but it works.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so already they have this level of, I can't believe they made a movie like this.
Right.
And they're going to review it from that point of view. And I don't think that's fair. I think it's fair, for to a critic, who has a fucking cigarette holder and Ant-Man, all right, whatever,
Yeah, well, I feel like that's what they would do with just about anything, though.
Right, but that's a non-fan giving it a negative review already. You know what I mean? Whereas you and I would be like, oh, fucking, they made an Ant-Man movie. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're already going in there giddy and shit.
And I think there will come a day where, it'll probably happen with other movies, too. Maybe as other studios kind of do it, where it's as far as enjoying the movie due to their lack of information, they won't be able to. I think when movies get bad, that's when the only thing propelling them is the fans who are kind of blind eye. It's like Spawn.
Yeah.
Okay, not a great movie. You know what I mean? Not Todd's best day. But that movie only did okay. But what kept it alive and on any level was just this fan base that was really dedicated to it. You know what I mean? So
And everybody bought my toys.
So it's a thing where it's because it's shittier. That's what keeps it afloat.
But I'm going to use Spawn as an example now. I didn't really care for the movie very much, even when it came out, because everything was Spawn everywhere at that time. 97, when everybody the toys were through the roof.
Sure.
But the thing is this: I know that when I'm clicking channels and I'll see it on, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. A non-fan, a critic will shut it the fuck off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore, there is still something inside of us.
Yeah.
As being comic book fans.
Yeah.
that we'll watch Spider-Man 3 if it's on.
But I don't think it's in our best interest. And you know what? Think about it. Like, if we support Spawn, if we support shit, we'll continue to send a message that this was okay.
No, but I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm saying that
I know
that if I'm clicking
I know that
the channels,
you're not saying it's okay. That's not my point.
Right.
My point is that, like, when we support shit, it's like sometimes it's mistaken as, hey, this was good enough. We made money on it. We can follow through. Instead of saying, like, wow, we fucking dropped the ball. You know, we could have been doing so much better. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Which is how I felt about Spider-Man 3. You know what I mean?
There you go.
But clicking channels, it's on. I look at it. I watch it. So, I mean, it's...
Speaking of clicking channels, Wesley's got more.
Okay.
Right? So, I wish it was just like a 20 minutes of this. Like, just this piano soft, you know? All right. So, is there any character that you think to be so odd or misrepresented that someone would need to go back to read a comic to understand a movie with them? I don't know. I don't know if they would like that. Like, the portrayal of it would just be so out there that, like, you just wouldn't get it. I think that would be a failure of the script in a way.
No. I've seen movies where characters are misrepresented, or like, well, the one that immediately comes to mind is Bane in Batman and Robin.
Not that far off from the comic. Certainly not at that time. Like, if you picked up like whatever the current issue of the Nightfall miniseries was at that point, or something like that with Bane.
No,
that's like the Bane
but
you got.
They make him like this big giant goon. They don't have.
What he was.
They don't have any of the intelligence, any of the strategy.
Okay, he had full sentences in the comics. He wasn't a complete moron in the comics.
He was a genius.
He was also not played to his strength as he is probably now in the comics.
Yeah.
He was pretty much just a character created to destroy Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, one-trick pony kind of guy. He's muscle. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, like, he was a formidable foe.
No, I don't think so. I think he was more of like this strategic genius who figured out the way to defeat Batman by tiring him out and then swooping in and destroying him physically.
Well, they fixed that, so.
Yeah. He got his disc replaced.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually, you know what, that is a fair... The more I think about it, the more you're right, because he just did kind of become like he's the cartooniest character in that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean...
Despite the Riddler being, like, just so over the top.
Wrong movie. It was Batman and Robin.
They all blend together after after the second one with Keaton.
Traumas have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
All he is a henchman in that movie.
Bomb! There you go.
When he should really be running the show. Like the Bane we got in Dark Knight Rises,
Sure.
I think is
Fair
a much better
wasn't
representation.
Bane
Which is why I said they fixed
idiot
it.
when he was on that super steroid or whatever he was on?
Venom.
The Venom thing. I don't think that. Well, in that movie, it dumbed him down even more, right?
Yeah.
It bulked him up and dumbed him down.
Yeah,
right?
all he was. Yeah, he
I
was.
mean, he was an idiot, but
he
I mean,
was just
like,
this screaming rage machine.
well, sometimes you need that too. You know, every team needs a Chewbacca.
Screaming in rage can be very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But me trying to explain to my mom in the car ride home, but that's not Bane.
But Mom, you don't understand, okay? Bane is a character to be respected and feared throughout Gotham.
If I had to explain to my
He's like
mother
Stewie Griffin,
Bane
but like
in
strong.
Batman and Robin, she probably would have smacked me, even at that age where it was when it came out.
She would have been like, "Why do you think I give a
Do
shit?"
you think I give a rat's ass?
Your mom would probably like shut up and watch Star Wars.
I'll be quite honest with
She
you.
would have been happy that it was something besides Star
You may
Wars.
find this
finally.
hard to believe. My mother's like as close to a saint as you could. She's like the nicest person on the face of the planet.
So where are you getting it from? Some crazy uncle that came by twice?
It's a mixture of my grandfather and every jerk off that I befriended when I was 5 to
every other
15.
Grandpa used to bring him to the bar when he was 6.
That's true.
All these other male role models
True.
I had. All right, so let's
Just
jump
shut
to...
up and eat the peanuts.
Don't worry
there.
about it.
I don't want to hear that they give you the shits.
Here's a Miller Nip. Go over there.
There you go. I was about to say, here's a glass of milk, but now you're a grandmother. All right, so Wesley's got one more. With all the billionaires in the world, why do you think that none have become like Batman or Iron Man? Do you think that it might be someone that has, maybe, and we just don't know it?
Because billionaires in real life are selfish fucks.
They only got rich by not spending it.
Heroes with no powers, you mean?
Yeah, well, or
Let's
just
see.
the fact that
Bill
someone's
Gates
used their
stole
money.
Windows from somebody.
So he's a villain then.
Yeah.
So he's the.
He actually stole windows from a guy who was wanted just to be a surfer dude.
No, yeah. So he's so he's the villain.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna put it out there for everybody, man. It's like, oh, before you do that, let me check it. Okay, and he changed a few things.
Yeah.
Made it so that he keep it, and then he sold it to IBM.
There you go.
And then the rest is history.
So, but why is it? Why? I mean, if anybody needs a suit, it's Bill Gates. He's kind of a waif. He just needs it for everyday
Well, I
use.
think
He would be a good arcade.
I mean,
the best.
not really for rich people, but just people in general. I think Kick-Ass explains why there are no superheroes, because it's a really stupid fucking idea.
Stupid thing to do. You actually get hurt a lot.
Yes.
And for all the hits Iron Man takes, that's a lot of rattling around in a skin-tight tin can. That we really don't see him. Like, I feel like he should be liquefied at a few points, just from the
Yeah,
vibrations.
we've seen him come out of that thing a little bruised.
yeah. I was gonna say, to be fair, he does get bruised the fuck
I mean,
up
we
a bit.
we see people show
To be
up.
fair, a bit.
Yeah, all right.
it's a bit.
All right, fine, yes, he is being hit by rocket launchers, etc. But
Although I did just see
still,
the other day the whole Batman and the Dark Knight when Joker throws what's her name out the window and he dives after her. They both land on the car and it's like, she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Or whatever he says, you know. I gotta go back upstairs now. 30 flights. Now he's gone. Shit. Cut this out of the movie. Everybody says, "Why did he go back up there?" Because off camera. We had to cut that out.
Inoculate yourself.
Quickly. Just do it.
Now, there are rich people who do walk around in wacky costumes. For
Yeah,
example,
well, that's true.
for example, Jaden Smith evidently goes to Hollywood parties now in a white Batman suit.
Yeah,
fuck him.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know any better. He was raised in like a bubble. You know what I mean? Like a literal bubble.
He's an awful actor too.
Yes.
That's why no one's let him do it again.
Have you seen the meme that's been going around with him lately
Which
on
one?
Facebook? It's the one where he's like got that little foo-foo thing in his hair. And
Oh, I think so. Yeah. It's a picture of him.
it's a picture of him. It's
Ripping
like something about calling him, well, basically calls him out for being a man because his father, something his father says. Like,
So right now, I need to know. Have you seen the meme?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of it.
Jaden Smith needs to have an accident.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. I also think, like, it kind of goes back to what Bob said. Like, billionaires just really aren't thinking on that level. If they were, we'd have a whole lot of it. And
They wouldn't be billionaires because they'd be too busy giving it away before they built up enough to be called a billionaire.
And generally, like, we should be having more superheroes popping up in the street besides, like, that one guy from wherever, the Phoenix, and putting on the whole suit and saying, "I'm going to straighten out my town." Like, you know what I mean? You would think that we would, if movies were so impressionable on the youth, why isn't everybody growing up to be
Well,
bad?
you got to watch the John Ritter movie Hero.
Oh, wow. Remember
Hero
that?
at large.
Hero at Large.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
I
That's
saw
a
that.
classic.
I saw that in the theater.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Wesley closes by saying, "And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night."
Is that the show?
That does sound like the end of the show. But
Fuck you, Wesley, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, then I think we need to hear Carlito's Way.
It's about that time. You think? You think we're heading into that zone?
Well, are we out of emails?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah.
much.
If you want to go play with the ducks, you shit out of luck.
Pretty much it.
Last call for drinks. Bar's closing down.
Oh, bar's closing down.
Yeah.
So what are you drinking?
I'm brought you some cheesecake. Beer.
I'll have a Manhattan, please.
You'll have a Manhattan. All right, I'm gonna have a White Russian.
Caucasian.
Bob's gonna have a tall glass of feedback.
Feels good.
A little bit. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you're live in the chat room, don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere, really. We'll be right here in a moment or two. Then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to sing a song. It goes, hey, diddle diddle.
Why don't we
kitty
go
in
out
the
with New
middle.
York State of Mind, man?
Some folks like to get away for a holiday from the neighborhood.
Take it, Ed. Hop a
Hop a
flight.
flight to Miami Beach. Oh, Hollywood. Yeah, no, I'm not singing.
No, I want more of that.
But I'm taking a Greyhound to Rikers Island at 9. I'm doing 25 to life. That's my life story.
The sequel is How Did He Get Out?
No, we can't. We don't have a saxophone.
Rikers Island Redemption.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Shawshank, but a whole lot more poo pipe involved.
Somebody's about to have an accident.
We were vamping a little bit so that Bob could set up.
He's vamp.
He's gonna give me
But
a
he
signal.
did a good
Yours ready?
rendition of New York State of Mind.
We did. We were like all so musical about it.
The Daily News.
Bob, where can people find you on the internet?
At Bob WTPC.
Very good. Ed, what about you?
I am at Edward O'Hare TBD.
TBD. Don't forget the TBD. And Jay, what do you?
1-800 Rikers Island. Uncle Jay at Jason Chickalese on Twitters.
On the Twitters, and at Wicked Theory on the Twitter. The show is at wickedtheory.com and can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and wherever else good podcasts are given away for free.
Oh, yeah.
Bob's going to take us out with something for,
Take it, Bob.
for the holiday.
Cash.
Wherever he's ready.